Okay, cool. We're going to start, and if he comes along, then he can join in at some stage. All right, so obviously you know a bit more about the Thermomix, but I'm just going to run over it in how I normally would do for a demo for someone who's not seen it before. Okay, so everything you need comes with the Thermomix. There's no hidden extras. Apart from what we were talking about earlier, which is the blade peeler. Now the blade peeler does have a second function, so it also covers up the blades, and that's good for slow cooking and really long stews or anything like that, if you don't want the blades to come in contact with the meat. Exactly. I do have a couple of clients who bought them, but there is a cheaper version. It's only £19. It just covers it. Yeah, exactly. So, but that I always say to my clients, wait and see if you need it, and then you can buy it at a later stage, and and you don't need to worry about it. Okay, so as you saw, this is the Varoma. Sits on top, otherwise it just sits in your cupboard. Well, obviously sits on top when you're going to use it, otherwise it can just sit in your cupboard. Generally the Thermomix is going to sit on your kitchen side just like so. So you get this, which is the whisk, and this is great for making the ice creams, mashed potato, anything that needs fluffing or whisking around, meringues and things like that. This is the spatula, so this is got a few nice little design parts to it. So if you put it like that, it doesn't touch the kitchen side, so it stops anything dripping and keeps the mess away. This stops it from going inside and touching the blades when it goes inside. This piece here connects to this, which is the steaming basket. So when you've got something in there and it's steaming, obviously you don't want to touch it, don't want to get your hands burnt, so you just put it in like that and take it out, and then you can just release it like that. So this is the steaming basket, and in here you might put rice or pasta, or you might sous vide in here, you can boil eggs in here, or you can basically steam anything else that you wanted to. And some recipes, for instance, there's an Asian style rice where you'll make the sauce in the bottom, take that out, again put the water in without washing up, put your rice inside here, put that in, put the lid on top, then add the Varoma with the vegetables and some mixed egg yolk underneath, with baking parchment underneath it to stop it from falling through. Leave the whole thing to cook, take it out, throw the sauce into the bowl, throw the rice into the bowl, throw the vegetables into the bowl, and then you just chop up the egg and pop that in and toss it, and you've got this amazing Asian style rice that's been cooked in about 25 minutes. Okay, so so when you come to use your Thermomix, when it first arrives, this will be closed. Okay, see you later, bye. So the lid is securely in place. So to get it, so you can take it out, you need to switch it on. Okay, I've got a setup video, which I send to clients just to make sure they're 100% happy and they know what they're doing before they get their Thermomix. So you switch it on, and the screen is going to look like this. So there's two ways to use the Thermomix. One, as I mentioned earlier, is freestyle. So if you know what you want to do with your Thermomix, and you're basically just going to get on and do it. So this is touch sensitive. So if you touch this one, this is the time that the Thermomix is going to do something for. This is the temperature, if there's any heat involved. It goes up to 120 degrees or Varoma. So some recipes will talk about putting it onto Varoma, and that just means turning it up to the top. If you're using the Varoma, that's going to be the temperature that you're also going to be using to now allow the heat and the steam to reach the Varoma. And then this is just the speed of the blades, so how fast the blades will turn. Double check nothing's in it. If you just turn it to 1, you can see that has a wooden spoon function. So that is basically going to be as though you were stirring it on a stove yourself, as though you were stirring something, so say frying onions or something, with the wooden spoon function. It then goes up to 0.5, and it goes all the way around to 10. This here, if you click on that, that's the blades going in reverse. So the back of the blades will hit the food. So like I was talking about earlier, if you are making a curry or something like that, you want to put it in reverse, because what it'll do is it'll turn around and it'll just agitate the food as opposed to sort of gently chopping it up. So that's the reverse function. Just take that down. Okay, so that's if you're going to freestyle. The other way to use it is to just go straight in and look at all the functions. So it's just a really simple swipe. So here you have your scales, and this is if you need to use scales for anything else when you're just quickly weighing something in the kitchen, as you might well do, or if you wanted to prep your ingredients beforehand, you could just bring up the scales yourself. Here we have the dough function, so this is when you're making breads, and also obviously if you're using Cookidoo, the recipes will just automatically jump to this. Okay, then we have the turbo function. Sometimes I suggest using the turbo function if you're making something like a stew, because what it does is it blitzes really quickly with 1 second, and it throws everything up into the air, and what falls down, not everything gets chopped uniformly. Exactly, so exactly, there's a bit of variety in it, because what will happen is it's so brilliant at chopping things very uniformly. Sometimes you don't want that, so just 1 second on the turbo will send it right high up, throw it down, chop it into different shapes. Okay, this is a pre-clean function. So if you need to clean your Thermomix in between and you haven't got time to, I mean, depending on what you make, you can quickly just rinse it out under the tap and carry on with it. But if you've made something like caramel or dough or something that's a little bit sticky and you think, oh, I'll just do this quickly, 5 minutes, it will clean itself. So you can either put it onto dough, universal, if you've been fat or caramelizing or browning, and all you do is just put enough water in to cover the blades, 1 dot of washing up liquid, and turn it on. This will determine how dirty it is, so it might start off by saying 5 minutes cooking, and it might cleaning, and it might change down to 3 minutes. So anyway, it'll finish cleaning, you literally just take the lid off, pop it into the nearest sink, rinse it out, and away you go. Okay, so then we've got the blending, and that's obviously sauces and things you want to put together. Say that you've made a sauce, it's not quite thick enough, you want to add some corn flour to it, then you can use the blending function. We've got egg boiler, so if you're boiling eggs, and there's all the different stages of the eggs you can use, so soft, hard boiled, etc. Then we've got the kettle function. I don't really recommend people using that personally, just because we live in quite a hard water place in England, and there's a lot of scale and stuff in our waters, maybe in other countries, or if you're taking it traveling, then, you know, by all means use it as a kettle. People do take them traveling, go in their caravans and whatnot, and by all means use it then, but when you're at home and you've got a kettle, I think stick with that. Warming up function, so if you've made something the previous day, you want to eat it again, just pop it in, you can warm it up, set the time for that. You've got the thickening mode, again that's for sauces and things. Then you've got the rice cooker, and that is pre-programmed specifically to tell you how to cook the rice. There's also lots of recipes on Cookidoo as well, but that's just if you're using it individually. There's 2 ways to cook the rice. You can either cook it in water and actually cook it in the traditional sense, or steam it in there, and I'd much prefer to steam it myself because it just keeps the shape a lot better, doesn't absorb all the water. Then we've got fermentation, so obviously you can...
Yeah. So you put that in that basket, but then would you put the rice in the steaming basket?
Put the rice in there, yep. Water in the bottom.
Does it not fall out?
No, it doesn't fall out at all. Yeah. I think they're just skinny enough, and because it sort of goes in different shape, crisscross. Okay, so then we've got fermentation, so you can make yogurt and things overnight, which is really lovely. You can also do the slow cooking, so you can make whole joints and things, and obviously any kind of slow cooking. We've got the sous vide, so sous vide is when you put the food in the bag and seal it up, and then that's the blade, the peeler function. If you do end up buying yourself the peeler, then you can use it. Sorry? It is still out of stock, I'm afraid. So there we go, and there are all the functions. If any new functions come out, as I said to you, they'll just come up with the download and then they'll appear in this section. Okay, so the next way to use the Thermomix is to go via Cookidoo. So when you get your Thermomix, you connect it to your Cookidoo account, so you set up a Cookidoo account, and that's really straightforward. You just add your Thermomix serial number, and then you get started. And when you register your Cookidoo account, it activates your 2-year warranty, and also you get a 6 months free usage of Cookidoo, just to make sure you like it and are happy with it. All right, so, and obviously, let's see if I can show you on here. Okay, so imagine this was your iPad or your laptop or anything. You're sitting at home just deciding what you want to cook. So you can type in anything you like in the search bar and search for it. It will bring up all the recipes, and then when you've got a recipe, you click on there, it will say cook today. If you press cook today, it will appear on the Thermomix in date order. You can bookmark it, so you can just select that it will be under your bookmarks. You can add it to your collections. You can make collections of stews or soups or breads or whatever you like, and then you can add it to your week. Again, that will come to your calendar, or you can add it to your shopping list. So if you add it to your shopping list, if we click on shopping list, so there's 2 ways you can view the shopping list, by category or by recipes. So if you do it by category, what it will do is all the recipes you're planning on cooking that week, it will categorize them. So when you go to the supermarket, you can just literally go to the bread section or the dairy section and get everything you need for all the recipes you're going to make that week. If you've got something already, if you just click on one of those dots, it will take it out of the order. What you can also do, obviously, you can send this to your phone, take a photo of it, email it to yourself or anything you like, and then you've got the list. But you can also go a step further and actually order it online with the shopping provider. So you can go to, they do Tesco's, Ocado, Asda and Sainsbury's are on there as well now. So if you wanted to, and if you've got an account, what it'll do is pop everything straight into your basket, you log in, click your slot, all your food will come and delivered, and you can just double check that they've chosen the right brands and stuff you want. Okay, so that's what you do. Now, so for instance, you've done that and you've chosen what you're going to cook for the week, and if you are browsing and you think, oh, I'd like to make that at Easter, you can literally click on it and you can set it all the way to this coming Easter or next Easter or whatever you want, and when you get nearer that time, it will appear on your Thermomix. You say, oh, I was going to make those, you know, little chicken nests or whatever it happens to be. Okay, so let's say that you've got all your food and you've put your stuff onto the Thermomix and what you want to cook. So then it's all going to be in your week. Okay, so these are the things that I've selected. Someone else has already put that on there, but these are the things I've selected to cook today. Okay, so and if you'd done that yourself, then all your recipes would be in there. So then you literally just go to the first one that you want to cook and click on it. Now you can go straight into start cooking if you've made it before, or if you want to just take a little look around the recipe, if you click on that arrow down there, it will tell you all the ingredients, all the steps that are going to be involved. Sometimes there's some hints and tips about the recipe and just advice. As you can see at the top, there's the nutritional details, portion sizes, how long it's going to take and everything you need to know about it. So once you've done that and you're happy, you're ready to go, just press start cooking. And then it literally tells you step by step. So as you can see, the scales just changed then because I took the lid off because everything's affected by that weight. Okay, so I've just taken it to 0. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is add 40 grams of Parmesan cheese. Okay, obviously someone else has weighed it, so it may have gone slightly over. Okay, and then 20 grams of fresh parsley. Oh, it's 11, okay. Don't worry. That's the other thing with Thermomix, very forgiving. So if you're making something and you don't have quite enough or you put a little bit over, it's absolutely fine. Okay, so now we're going to put the lid on. And then say next. And when you're using Cookidoo, everything's already pre-programmed. So this is what we were talking about earlier. So it already says 10 seconds on the clock and it tells you to turn it to speed 10. Now because this is Parmesan, it's going to be quite loud. Okay, see how child friendly it is. It literally step by step tells you what the next thing to do is. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so now it should say transfer to a bowl and set aside. Okay, not much working space here. No, it's not going to work. We'll do that here. Okay, so next 20 grams of olive oil. And when you're adding liquids, you just need to go a little bit slowly because it might take a couple of seconds to catch up. Normally, a glug like that is about 5 grams. And also just make sure when you're putting stuff in that you don't touch or rest it up against the edge because that's going to have an effect on it as well. Okay, so next 60 grams of onions. Let's see how they've done on measuring that. Pretty good. And then 150 grams of fresh mushrooms. Risotto in a long time. Lovely, look at that. So that's the onions and the mushrooms ready to go. Okay, so then it just tells you to scrape down the sides. lid back on, and this is now going to cook. So for 3 minutes at 100 degrees, just turning it to speed 1. There we go. Right, let's put. Okay, any questions? Pretty straightforward. Have you made a risotto yet? I love, there's a really nice tomato one that I make quite regularly. And normally, so the next stage, when I put the rice in, I'll actually transfer this to another Thermomix so I can get it cooking and we can carry on with the salad. But I would normally like go and do something else, like for that 12 minutes, like go and have a shower or whatever you need to do, get on with some work. And I don't know if you've seen the Thermomix Friend. Have you seen the Thermomix Friend? So they brought this out, must be almost a year now, and it's designed as a second Thermomix for people who want to make multiple batches of things. Basically, it doesn't really chop anything, but it will cook things and it will steam things. So you can start things off in the Thermomix and then you can put them in the Friend to finish off. Right, add 120 grams of liquid, 200 grams white wine.
Not too much. Wasn't enough to make it really work properly.
Okay, so I've just added the rest of the mushrooms and then 250 grams of risotto rice. Good job I checked that. I didn't feel like there was enough in that box. It's quite important to have an advisor. I think not many people necessarily realise if they buy it independently and then they go, oh God, what have I done? Well, either do a welcome demo, it's a welcome demo, and just like ongoing advice. Like I had a client message me the other night, said I made these mashed potatoes and this happened, and I said, oh, what you need to do is X, Y, and Z. Not always just following the Cookidoo recipe works every time, so it depends. There's lots of science with cooking, isn't there? And as I mentioned earlier, I've been doing it for 6 years, so there isn't really anything I can't answer very quickly on a WhatsApp group. And also for my clients, I have a Facebook group. So this video is going to go live out to the Facebook group later today, just to sort of keep people informed. And obviously I also have my YouTube channel, just to help people to be able to get ideas and inspiration. And you know, I get people all the time messaging me and say, oh my God, and because I do my own recipes and I also do recipe conversions from chefs. So I've done Gordon Ramsay and Jamie Oliver. I'm also going to do some of the Hairy Bikers and some various other people's, chefs. I'm kind of looking for people to give me some requests who they want. Right, so this is the vegetable stock which you can make.
And if I need a bit of wine, I just put a couple of in, just a bit of flavour, just a bit of wine, you don't really fancy it, and it's okay for cooking. I'd like to follow you on
Thank you, there you go, there's my details are there. So I've actually changed it because the name is Jennifer's Thermomix Creations and Instant Pot, but I'm just not keeping up with the Instant Pot at all. So I've changed it back to just Thermomix because I just use my Thermomix so much. Right, so I'm just going to add a teaspoon of the stock. This is absolutely delicious. But yeah, if you just go to YouTube and type in Jennifer's Thermomix, I'll come up. Okay, so I'm just going to now move this because it's also going to cook for 13 minutes. Okay, so now we're going to make a super quick broccoli salad. Yeah, this is actually slightly different to the other one, so you might not have tried this one. I didn't realise there was another recipe, and actually this looks amazing. It's got raisins in it. It looks really nice. Okay, so we're just going to start cooking with this one. Because we were in the middle of a recipe then, it said, did you want to change recipe?
Yeah.
It's just asking you. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is add the broccoli. Sorry? No, I'm good at the moment, thank you. Okay, 350 grams of broccoli. That'll do. Actually, do you have one more tiny bit of broccoli anywhere, please?
No, I had got exact 350 grams that.
Oh, that you think?
That was
Okay,
300.
it wasn't measuring up at that. That's fine, no problem.
I just bought that 350.
No problem. Oh, that's the shops shortchanging us. It says 350 and it's not. Okay, so 1 apple. And then 20 grams of onions. And 100 grams of courgettes. 20 grams of cider vinegar. A little bit over, that's fine. Okay. So the great thing about this is that you're adding the salad dressing at the same time. And another thing is that you can control what you're eating. So if you didn't want to have so much oil, or you wanted to have no salt, or specific to your diet's requirements.
Yeah, I've got in my either dairy
Oh yeah.
specific needs. So
Yeah.
I think if you want to go up and then take ingredients out, then
Absolutely.
you can the recipes which
Yeah, absolutely.
fulfill that need. Yeah.
And what they're actually doing now is there's something called created recipes.
Yeah.
So if you decide there's a recipe and it has certain things you don't want to use in it, if you go onto your computer, search up the recipe, go into Cookidoo, search up the recipe, and then go into created recipes, you can edit the recipe and then save it. And then the next time,
Yeah.
the next time you look on the pepper. Pepper just got me there. So as soon as you then look on the recipe, it will be as you've saved it, and so you never have to worry about seeing that other ingredient that you didn't want to put in ever again, which is really amazing.
Yeah, I've got very dairy-free, the one is nut, the one is gluten, it's quite
Yeah, it's quite a mixed diet. So you can also change the length of that sound as well, and all of those kind of things on your settings. So that's the salad all ready to go.
That's it, yeah.
That was it, yeah. I'm just going to add some raisins. So this is a slightly different recipe to the other one. Perhaps you know the one with pine nuts and red peppers. Lid on again. And then it's just going to mix on reverse, 5 seconds, speed 2. Would you like to try?
Yeah.
Good. There we go. Yep, no problem. Good enough? No problem. There we go. So I don't think anyone could say that they could make a salad in 4 seconds.
No.
That salad's ready if you want to hand any out.
That's exactly where I live.
Lovely, carry on. Now, just check how we're getting on with the risotto.
Broccoli and apple.
Yes, no nuts. Nice. I can't wait to try that one because I love raisins. Right, so glad you enjoyed that. We're going to make some banana bread now, and I love cooking cakes in the Thermomix because it's so completely ridiculously simple. You know, when previously you would have to mix the sugar and the butter and then slowly put the egg in, make sure it didn't curdle, none of that going on. Even tells you to put the oven on, that's why it's child friendly. Make sure that you don't forget anything. And grease a tin. Okay, 350 grams of ripe bananas. So another tip, see how this has gone slightly yellow? In the sun, yeah. If you're making curries or anything and this smells a little bit, you can wash it in bicarbonate soda, put it out in the sun. I've done a video on my YouTube that's in slow motion so that you can see, time lapse, so that it speeds up and it goes from yellow to clear again.
I was a bit annoyed when I did it.
Well, there's a couple of options. You could buy yourself a second lid, so you only have sweet and savoury. That's what I tell my clients to do because it's only £12 or something, I think, for a new lid. Or if you've got the money and you're a bit flash, have a whole different bowl.
I've got that.
Oh, you've got a second bowl. Good, yeah. So I mean, it's a luxury. £169. So I mean, it's a luxury. If you can afford it, great. If you can't, then you manage without. So, but the cheats version of that is to buy another lid. Right. So 350 grams of bananas. Let's see whether these weigh up to 350 grams.
I like it. That's good for you.
Yeah.
Especially with onions.
Especially something like, yeah, and especially something like this, because my kids are due to come home from school and I'll think, oh, I haven't got anything for them to eat, and I just go, oh, there's some ripe bananas, throw it in, 2 seconds later, chuck it in the oven, they come in, smell the banana cake, oh my God, Mum, you've made banana bread. Yes, I have. Right, that'll be fun. Insert the lid. And every time it says insert measuring cup, it's talking about this.
Yeah.
Normally it's in there anyway, and that's just a safety precaution. So sometimes people go to me, what am I supposed to be putting in? Okay, speed 6. Okay, 130 grams of unsalted butter. Look how beautifully. Oh, it smells nice too. So that's clean one, I believe. Yep, 130 grams of unsalted butter. What's that now? It's kind of hard to see from this angle because obviously you're normally facing it.
You need a light and mirror above.
Yeah. They have that in the head office. They have a really nice place where I do cooking classes for our clients, and it's all mirrored above. So if you're sitting there, you can just look in the mirror and see. In Ascot.
That's right. That's right off.
Yeah. 150 grams of caster sugar. And again, you know, if you don't like things too sweet, you want to change it, you can. I've done a really nice banana bread recipe where I've halved the sugar and the fat.
Yeah.
And it's so delicious, and the kids don't even notice, and I'm like, haha. That's on my YouTube. That's the thing, I like to, you know, do those experiments myself so that people watching don't have to worry about it. It says 4, doesn't it? There we go. And actually, this recipe is different to the one I do. I just put everything in and turn it on for 30 seconds and then pour it straight out, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Puffs up beautifully and everything as well. They've sort of made this unnecessarily fiddly, to be honest.
Your recipe, your YouTube channel, is it there then? Your recipe?
Yes, yes, yes. So the way I do it, because I obviously need 2 eggs, please. I need people to watch and watch the whole thing. So what I do is I put the recipe at the beginning, what ingredients, 2 please, and then I obviously make it, and each time I do a step, I've written it at the bottom so that you can either cook along with me, or you can watch and just take notes of your own, and then you can make it yourself. So thank you. Yeah, I started it in the lockdown because obviously I couldn't get to anyone. It was all a bit of a nightmare. And I was trying to think how I could generate more clients. So I started it then, and now I've got over 1,500 people follow me. So, and some of the videos have had 50,000 views on them. It's quite impressive. And I get messages from people in Dubai, Brazil, Australia.
Yeah, I mean that's the advantage of lockdown, is to drag everybody into, you know, I mean the people who are into the
Yeah, I think it was, although it was hard for a lot of people, I think it's done the world a bit of good to have just a change of thought process about how we all work and where we work and family and what's important and getting out into nature. Okay, so now I'm going to add some flour. Teaspoons of baking powder. Did you type in Jennifer's Thermomix? On the YouTube. Jennifer's Thermomix Creations.
Oh, on YouTube, but
Yeah.
not on Facebook.
Oh no, so Facebook is what we called Thermomix Dream Team.
Are you done with all this, Mela?
Yes, thank you. But YouTube is where all the recipes are.
Oh yeah.
That's good to know. Waitrose make ready-made buttermilk.
No, Tesco, everybody does.
Do they?
Yeah.
I normally make my own. I've got a video of it on my YouTube channel.
So what's the YouTube channel? Is Jennifer?
It's Jennifer's Thermomix Creations. So everything's dishwasher friendly, and if you're not using the pre-clean, then obviously you can just take it apart. I'll show you how that works now. Okay, so yeah, you saw that comes apart very easily. Again, I have a video for this on my channel, but this, you just put your thumb here, you push it around, you take that off. This is now loose, so you make sure you don't tip it out without holding on to the blades. Take the blades out. Occasionally, you can take this off and let it clean underneath. You can just take it off and put everything in the dishwasher. I recommend putting.
You can put that in the dishwasher as
Yes,
well?
yeah.
All of it?
All of
Everything?
it. Everything.
Okay.
Every item. And
Sorry. So if I get that
That's
right,
okay.
it's not a problem or anything like this. You know, if I were just under the tap.
No, you clean it how you like, absolutely. I've got a client who had a Thermomix for nearly 4 months, and she messaged me and said, I still haven't put it in the dishwasher. Are you sure I'm okay to... I said, I've been putting mine in the dishwasher for 6 years, the same set of blades. Trust me, it's fine. What I do recommend though, and I learned this the hard way, is that you put this back inside this, so it sits inside, and you put that inside. You didn't know that? You need me as your advisor. You put this in the top tray of your dishwasher, and then it stays nice and safe. I learned, as I said, the hard way. I was putting this in the top and it was rolling around, and then I looked in my dishwasher and there's all these cuts everywhere, and it all went rusty, and I had to get a new dishwasher. So yeah, you put it in there, you put that in like one of the drink sections. This can just go straight in the bottom. There's nothing else that connects to this or disconnects. And that's it. I normally put this in the bottom sideways, so that allows, so the water doesn't pool in that. And then when you put it back on, it's a good idea to do it on the kitchen side. So you just get it in and you wiggle it until that is flat. And it's basically just this space, there's no space in between, it's just this is there. And you just use your finger to pull it back round. It will be stiff when it's brand new, but just keep going with it. And if you need to, get a man involved and find someone who can just do that back and forth a couple of times to loosen it up. Okay, this risotto should be done. So I've just added the reserved parmesan and also the butter. I'm just going to stir that in. Oh, it smells amazing. Would you like a slightly bigger bowl? Yeah? Yeah? I mean, it's lunchtime after all. It's gone lunchtime, really, isn't it? So what do you think?
Very good, yeah. I mean, I've sort of seen really, obviously I spent a bit of time thinking, it's not the first time I've seen one, so I've thought about it quite a long time.
Sure.
So I'm not sort of, I'm surprised, I knew what I was expecting. It's just good to see it.
That's great. That's great.
And,
It's really difficult when someone's seeing it for the first time for them to really understand.
yeah,
And sometimes that makes life a little bit difficult as a rep.
Yeah.
I mean, they say that sometimes people need to see it 5 times. Be careful, that will be quite
it's
hot.
very hot, yeah.
But also, I was literally just talking to a client last night who said she made meringues and they were unbelievable. So if you text me, then I can get you whatever recipe she's using, because it may not be that recipe.
Okay.
Yeah?
So text you in the...
Yeah, you've got my number. So just drop me a text and say, hello, I want to know more about the meringues. Sorry?
My name's Jill.
Jill, nice to meet you, Jill. And yeah, just message me and I'll find the right recipe for you.